talking so you can hear us. Okay. All right, I'm talking, and I can hear the music. I can hear our air feed, Gavin, so I think we're good to go.
And I can hear it too.
And so I assume that you can hear us, so I'm going to put down my headset now, and we'll check back in at 6:25 to let you know. Air feed just went away. There, it's back. Okay. All right, thanks, bud. Talk to you in a bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jamestown Tarp Skunks Baseball on WRFALP, the start of the 2022 season. I'm Jason Sample, joined by Norm Rodriguez. Tonight's game features your Jamestown Tarp Skunks hosting the Olean Oilers in a non-league matchup. A reminder, support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunks Baseball is provided in part by Schultz Auto Group, the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, Reg Linné Center for the Arts, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting's American Rescue Plan Stabilization Grant. Happy to have you with us here with Norm Rodriguez and our intern Jessica Beeler to bring you 9 innings of action here at Dietrich Park. Norm, happy to have you back and happy to start another season of baseball.
Oh, it's good to be back, Jason. Another season of Tarp Skunks baseball is finally here. I'm ready to see them stink up the field like they were saying at the luncheon earlier this afternoon prior to them coming here. One of the best spots in the world, Dietrich Park, and we're up here in the press box, the best spot in the house.
Things are going to get stinky, I think, is what they had said, and I think they mean that in a good way, or at least for the opposing teams. But yes, it's very exciting here, and despite some rain earlier in the late afternoon, early evening, we seem to have a ball game just about ready to get underway. Just a light drizzle right now here at Dietrich Park, and I think the radar shows that it will be clearing up. So if you haven't gotten down to the ballpark yet, you still have time to do so and check out the first game of this season. Again, it's a non-league game, but it's sort of a rivalry game, or at least they're hoping to develop it into a rivalry with the Olean Oilers coming in from just next door in Cattaraugus County, making the trip over here on the interstate to see what they can do against Jamestown. Talking with one of the parents from the visiting team, they said the coach tonight, his strategy is just to get a feel for his players. It's a non-league game. It's really an opportunity to showcase the players. We're going to see a lot of pitching changes from what I understand. He might run through the entire bullpen before it's all said and done. So we might have a lot of breaks during the ball game. All the same, though, it's going to be a great night for baseball here at Dietrich Park. I'm pretty excited. And I know that they're making their way out on the field here. We just had the opening pitch, and we'll have the national anthem in just a moment. But, Norm, really quickly here, why don't we go through the starting lineup, if you will, for our home team, the Jamestown Tarp Skunks first.
Yes, indeed, Jason. The batting leadoff for your Skunks is going to be Henry Martinez, the center fielder. Then the 2 spot will be right fielder number 19, Richard King. And in the 3 spot, one of the returners for the team. You got to dip this guy's glove and his bat in gold. That's how golden this guy is. The catcher number 24, Johnny Campus. The cleanup spot, first baseman number 11, Jack Davis. And the number 5, the DH number 2, Will Durrell. At the 6th, third baseman number 6, Cody Bay. Or no, excuse me, I didn't get the number on here, but Cody Bay bats in the 6th slot. Then left fielder number 28, Yogi Hardigan. And then Brandon Lade, the extra hitter. Nate Johnson, the second baseman. And Mark Tucker, another returner for Jamestown, the shortstop. So we've got 5 returning players coming back this year, and this should be another memorable season here at Dietrich Park.
Yeah, another memorable season is right, because last season they made it to the playoffs. Obviously, they didn't advance very far, but they made it to the postseason, had a successful season in 2021. Coach Jordan Bazil, who we spoke with last week, said he's hoping to see things advance even further this time around. Of course, they're going to be playing more teams this year than last year. That's maybe the big change, is because of COVID last year. They limited the number of teams that would be coming into Jamestown and play and vice versa, and that was the way it was around the entire league. The league that Jamestown plays in, a reminder for the listeners at home, is the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. And last year they were somewhat restrictive in how many teams would be traveling and interacting with other teams. So Jamestown really only had 4 or 5 teams throughout the season that they played with. We've got more of a well-rounded schedule this year. We're going to see some familiar teams in the lineup, as well as some new teams that we hadn't seen last season that'll be coming to Jamestown this year.
Yes, indeed. And also the starting pitcher for the Skunks, because we did talk about that being a possible platoon system with this being a non-league game. Ian Korn gets the starting call on the rubber tonight for the Skunks. And while we're waiting, we also got the Olean Oilers lineup, and we're going to give it to you right now. Batting first will be the second baseman, number 4, Andrew Stillinger. Then after that, it'll be center fielder Stan Zagrodnik. Then left fielder Casey O'Brien at number 3. And then in the cleanup spot, the right fielder Blaze Ziders, number 24. Luke Rogenbuck, the first baseman, number 43. Then Zach Swanger, the DH in the 6th spot. Mitch Gross, the third baseman at number 7. Jake Meeker, the catcher at the 8th spot. And then shortstop James Lehman. And then in the 10th spot, they're not using an extra hitter. Their pitcher is going to bat. He'll be in the 10th spot, number 49, Liam Devine. And again, he'll also be on the starting mound for the Oilers.
Right on. We're waiting for the national anthem here to get underway. But again, just previewing the season as we were talking about, Norm, thank you very much for bringing up one of these handy schedules to let us know exactly
Always a lifesaver.
What's happening. I had printed up a schedule at work, and absent-minded me, I had forgot to bring it down here to the ballpark. Brought everything else, brought the broadcasting equipment, brought along some good company, but unfortunately I forgot the schedule. But you picked one up on your way up here to the press box. And some of the teams that we saw last year that'll be returning to Jamestown in several games. It's sort of the division that Jamestown plays in. We've got Elmira, Niagara Power, Batavia Muck Dogs, and the Geneva Red Wings, along with the Newark Pilots. All of those teams are familiar teams that we had heard about last season. Had some really good contests, some come-from-behind victories, some exciting finishes. Hopefully we'll see a lot of that this season as well. In the meantime, some new names to add to the list. We're going to have the Utica Blue Sox coming in, as well as the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs and the Olean Tigers. I don't think we faced them as well. I do think we played the Auburn Double Days at least once last year, if I'm not mistaken.
That may have been a road game because I do not recall calling a game versus Auburn last season, but a few of these opponents are familiar. Even when they were the Jammers, they're familiar with Utica. They're familiar with the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. They actually lost the championship game to Mohawk Valley. That was the second to last year before the ownership moved to Milwaukee.
All right, so again, we're about ready to get the game underway. It's wet field conditions, obviously. I like to think that Dietrich Park here in Jamestown may be the premier stadium in the league that Jamestown currently plays in, the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. And I only say that because for years Dietrich Park was a single-A professional ball field, and the Parks crew still treats it that way. They do a great job keeping the field dry. The tarp was out there, and of course they've removed the tarp now, and they're bringing out the starting lineup for the Tarp Skunks. So they are taking the field. It's a little muddy on the infield, a little soggy out there in the outfield, but regardless of the weather conditions right now, we are going to have a game getting underway here in just a few minutes. Of course, once all the players are announced and they take their positions, we'll have the national anthem. That'll give us the time to take a break, catch our breath, and we'll be back with some baseball action. Norm will be doing the play-by-play tonight, obviously, and I'll just be there to provide some color commentary along the way. So, Norm, you've got a big fan club. In the offseason, when I talked with people about bringing the Tarp Skunks back to WRFA-LP for 2022, one of the first questions I was asked, if not the first question, is Norm coming back? And they met that in a good way. It wasn't like, oh, is Norm coming back? It was like, yeah, are you going to bring Norm back? Because they were excited. Obviously, you've got a big fan in Greg Peterson, who is one of the members of the local Tarp Skunks team. He loves your analogies, your callbacks, your references. If there's a reference to be had, you will find a way to work it into a ball game. So it'll be a pleasure hearing your music references, your movie references, maybe even your T-show references. Who knows? You might even talk about baseball, Norm.
Hey, I'm full of baseball facts too, but just being able to hear that from what you just told me, that's one of the best feelings in the world when it makes me want to do even better, makes me want to do a good job, makes me want to come here every game.
Right on. I should also note that also up here in the press box tonight, so as we did last year, we wanted to make this an educational program for college students who are interested in broadcasting or sports journalism or just sports in general. And last year we had 3 interns in our introduction for this game. For the folks listening on the radio, we were able to have hear the voice of Dan Millay.
Oh, Dan Millay.
Who was a Syracuse University broadcasting student, and it showed because he was phenomenal last year. Dan has moved on, of course. Having an internship under his belt, he's probably moved on to even another league and maybe in a bigger market. But we have 2 interns this year that we're happy to bring back, and we might even have a familiar name from last year's internship program who might come back to fill in once in a while. That would be Colin Wood, who is from West Virginia University. We'll talk more about the internship program in a moment, but I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a break as they have the national anthem, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes right here on your community radio station in your home for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks in 2022, WRFA LP. All right, a wonderful rendition of the national anthem here at Dietrich Park, and that is the sign that baseball is just about ready to get underway. As the starting pitcher warms up, he's one of the pitchers or one of the players you're going to hear tonight from, as we were able to meet up with the players earlier this afternoon during a Meet the Tarp Skunks luncheon at the Robert H. Jackson Center in downtown Jamestown. We were able to learn about all of the players on this year's roster, some familiar names from last year, a lot of new names as well, and that includes tonight starting pitcher. What we're doing again this year in the end of the first and second inning is doing a Meet the Tarp Skunks feature where listeners on the radio station, I know we're also doing a video feed tonight on YouTube, but listeners on the radio station or streaming online at WRFALP.com will have the opportunity to hear the players, and tonight we have the starting pitcher as well as the starting catcher. So both of them will be on in the first and second inning respectively during our Meet the Tarp Skunks segment. That'll be an ongoing feature. Also, as I was noting before the start of the national anthem, we have two interns with us this year. We have Jessica Beeler, who recently graduated from Jamestown Community College, will be moving on to Alfred University, and we also have Max Pinchator, who is a current student at JCC. Both of them interested in sports, maybe sports journalism. Jessica says she's still feeling it out. We'll talk with Jessica a little bit later on tonight, introduce you to our listeners, do a brief interview, get to know her as well, maybe in the third or fourth inning, and then we'll also have the operations manager, Jackson, coming up here to talk about his job in the stadium. So we got a lot of guests coming up here, a lot of folks to talk to, and, of course, a lot of baseball to be played. And, again, Norman, as we get ready to kick off this first inning, do you have any final thoughts before we get underway in terms of what to expect tonight or even for this season?
I'm expecting virtually the same stuff, similar as last year. A lot of runs on the board, consistency at home. I believe there was only 4 games that went to the bottom of the 9th inning all of last year. We did have a couple that went to extras, a couple of them Jamestown won, including that walk-off wild pitch. And what's funny is that pitcher is on Jamestown now, Eli Shed. So we will probably see him pitching throughout the season. And there was also the 4th of July doubleheader where Jamestown had the sweep. But I'm expecting a strong season. I know Jordan Bazil, the team coach, is going to do a great job. And I'm looking forward for the season as Andrew Stillinger comes up the bat, and we're about to be underway for 2022 Skunks.
Andrew Stillinger, left-handed hitter, playing second base tonight, leading off for the Olean Oilers. The visiting team in the 2022 season is just about to get underway.
And Korn gets the sign he wants. Here's the pitch, and outside, ball one. We're officially underway. And Jamestown, they're in their nice-looking black jerseys. Those are probably the best ones that they've got, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, they look beautiful on the players, and, of course, on a night like tonight, it won't really come into play.
As the next pitch is outside for a 2-0 count, and Olean, they're in their dark red and black jerseys with gray pants.
The challenge is when the weather gets warm, wearing those black jerseys isn't nearly as inviting as it looks tonight.
Well, here's the 2-0. Oh, right down Broadway, strike one.
So we got a 2-1 count here as the duel begins. Again, Stillinger from Olean squaring off against the pitcher for the Skunks.
That is Ian Korn. Korn looking to at least get it back to an even count. It's fouled off, and it hits off the nylon netting. Makes the count even 2-2, and you got to thank God for those nylon nettings, because sometimes if you foul it off, that's going 100 miles an hour.
Right. Fans in the general admission seats always on their guard here at Dietrich Park, because you never know when you might have an errant foul ball coming your way. The grandstands, they do have the safety netting protecting them. And I think a lot of folks are in the grandstand because of the wet weather we had a little bit earlier on. But it looks like it's starting to let up. If it's totally stopped now, it looks like it's just about over with.
We got the double deuce 2-2 count on the way. Oh, caught looking strike 3.
Give him the backward K. A nice way to start the ball game for Ian Korn. Coming in here and getting the first strikeout of the season for the Tarp Skunks and the first batter that they face. Nice work by Korn, and now we've got the center fielder stepping up to the plate, number 28, Stan Zagranek.
Buck looking to start it off hot and get 2 strikeouts here on 2 batters. He gets his sign, and here's the next pitch on the way. Low and outside, ball 1.
Yeah, just missed the outside edge there. It looks like he almost had it, but didn't quite get over the plate.
Second straight batter he's facing a 1-0 count with. Here's Korn's next pitch. and that's going to go into center field for a base hit. So gives Zagrodnik a single there as Casey O'Brien will come up the bat next to the left fielder.
Yeah, he liked that pitch. It was right down the middle, and he saw it coming and just fired it right back up the middle of the field. Pitcher couldn't get it, and then both the shortstop and second baseman were obviously in their normal position, so it went right to center field. And just like that, Olean, the visiting team, has a runner on base with one out here.
And again, Casey O'Brien up the bat. Semi-local boy, hometown is North Tonawanda, New York, and he's a sophomore at Niagara University. As Korn will try to get that pitcher's best friend the double play ball. Here comes the next pitch, and outside, ball one.
Korn, a right-handed pitcher, by the way.
And here comes the 1-0 pitch as the batter gets back into the box. Zagrodnik does not have a big lead off of first base, so wouldn't worry too much about a pickoff. Takes a long look. Here's Korn's next pitch. Oh, right down Broadway, evens the count.
Yeah, right down the middle there. A nice pitch to even the count. Korn, by the way, is from Seton Hill, and he's from Greenburgh, Pennsylvania, Seton Hill College. And it's sort of a pipeline for the Tarp Skunks. We had a few from Seton Hill last season, and we have a few this season as well.
Count goes even 1-1. We got the triple stick on the board now, 1-1 with one out. And here's the next pitch by Korn, and that gets chopped off foul, making it strike two.
So we're in the top of the first inning here at Dietrich Park. Baseball is underway in Jamestown, New York. What a wonderful feeling. A little chilly out there. I got my hoodie on. Norm, you're brave. You got the short sleeves on here. But, boy, what a great night to be out at the ballpark.
Yes, it is. 1-2 counts. Zagrodnik with a small lead. Korn taking a check. Here's the next pitch. Fouled off again, so O'Brien stays alive in this at-bat to see another pitch.
Didn't get a chance to talk with Coach Bazil before the game started, but I was curious just how far he'll let his pitchers go, especially his starting pitcher, Ian Korn, tonight in a non-league game, especially with college players during the summer season. You want to keep their pitch count low, the pitchers, and we'll see just how far he goes tonight. But first he's got to get out of this one.
And this one's going to be hit to shallow left center field. Little campfire out there, but it does get caught for the second out. The fly out to left as Yogi Hardigan made the catch down there, and now it's going to be Blaze Ziders, the right fielder, up to bat.
Yogi Hardigan, the left fielder. That's a baseball name if I ever heard one.
Yeah, and he didn't even have to go to Jellystone Park to catch that ball.
No.
But again, it's Ziders, the right fielder, up to bat. Runner's still on first, but there is two outs. Korn looking to finish the first inning with a bagel on the board. And here's his next pitch. Just a tad high, ball one.
That was a nice changeup, though. Very off-speed pitch there. Came in really slow. Didn't quite get the outside edge, though. Zeters, by the way, is batting left-handed. Second lefty that Korn has faced tonight.
And he gets his sign, comes set 1-0. And it's going to be a chopper down the third base line, but it goes foul. And Ziders, he's a native of Frenchville, PA. He's a junior at Lock Haven University. Bats left and throws righty.
Runner on first, 2 outs, 1-1 count.
And Korn gets the sign from campus and comes set at the belt. Takes a quick check. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and missed for strike two. Tried to go fishing, but ended up with just bait.
Yeah, another nice off speed there. A little out in front of that pitch and got his second strike. Korn showing some good control of his pitching as well. You know, not anything wild, or looks like the Johnny Campus and the backstop there knows exactly where the pitches are going each time it's delivered.
And here's the 1-2. Oh, ball two. I thought the umpire, from the way he was looking, was going to call strike three. That could have gone either way, but again, Ziders will live to see another pitch in this at-bat, and we got that triple deuce on the board again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
Johnny Campus framed that to look like a strike, but it did look a little on the outside edge. It could have gone either way, like you said, Norm.
But again, the umpires have the better view. We got the best spot in the house in the press box. And Korn looking to finish the first inning strong. And it'll be a chopper. It's going to go over to second, and he'll just throw it to first for the out, and that's already a half inning here at Dietrich Park.
All right, so with 1/2 an inning in the books, the Tarp Skunks are ready to step up to the plate here in a moment. But first, Let's remind you of our underwriters and sponsors who make this broadcast possible. Support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks in 2022 is brought to you in part by Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, celebrating over 50 years of serving the community's automotive needs with an excellent customer buying and ownership experience. At Schultz Auto Group, all repair facilities have experienced and factory-trained technicians with state-of-the-art equipment for every automotive need, no matter what engine types, gas, diesel, or electric. The next generation of auto care is already at Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunk Community Baseball on your community radio station, WRFA LP. For more information, call 1-866-931-2998 or simply go online to schultzauto.com. Back to you, Norm.
Jason, as always, thank you very much as Liam Devine's throwing his warm-up pitches. And while we're waiting, this big dude here, 6'4", 210 pounds, and he is a left-handed thrower, bats right-handed. He's a native of Guelph, Ontario, Canada, and he's a senior at St. Bonaventure University.
All right, so looks like the drizzle is starting to come down just a little bit again. I spoke too soon. I thought the rain clouds were gone. Looking off to the northwest portion of the sky, it doesn't appear like it's really anything too dark or ominous, but still, we've got more precipitation coming down here. Nothing too crazy. It's not a downpour by any means. It's just a light drizzle, but it could be enough to impact play on the field. We might see an error out there. We could see some slipping going away or maybe even an errant pitch. So it's something to be mindful of as we progress through this opening ball game of the season.
Yep, and it's going to be Martinez, King, and Campus to start it up batting-wise for the Skunks to begin their offensive production of the 2022 season. Martinez is the center fielder, and he gets ready to go into the batter box.
Yeah, Henry Martinez coming from Wagner by way of Staten Island, New York is where Wagner's located, but he comes all the way on the West Coast. He's actually from Chino Hills, California, calling Jamestown his home here for this summer, at least for the month of June and July. He bats left-handed. He steps up to the plate, and we're ready to go here in the bottom of the first.
And here's Devine's first pitch of the game, and that one in the dirt, ball one, and you hit the nail on the head right there. Almost predicted the future when it comes to those errant pitches in the rain.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about it. You can only stay so dry, you know.
Well, here comes his next pitch. That one's fouled off, evens the count 1-1. Maybe it just slipped out of his fingertips a little bit.
Always exciting to see the new players here for the Tarp Skunks and just try to figure out which ones are going to be the the team leader in runs or the team leaders in stolen bases. And I think Martinez might be both of them, being the leadoff hitter, obviously.
As he fouls that off.
He's someone to keep an eye on.
Yeah, last season the main leadoff guy was Hayden Hunt. He was known for stealing bases. He led the team by a mile. He had 22 steals. He only got caught one time. Usually in the leadoff, they're known to put the ball on the ground and leg it out to first base. As Martinez sets to get back into the batter box. And again, the DJ doing a good job with some in-between tunage to keep the fans interested. As the 1-2 on the way outside, evens the count, 2-2. Martinez backs out and gets back into the box. He's on an even count. And here's Devine's next pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3.
Nice changeup out there to get Martinez reaching, and way ahead of that one as well. So Devine showing what he can do, getting his first strikeout of the season in the first batter he faces. And now we got Jordan King, the right fielder for the Tarp Skunks, stepping up to the plate. He's number 19. He bats right-handed.
And we're just waiting for him to get in the batter box, and that's a good walk-up tune that he's got.
A little Led Zeppelin, was it?
That was Sticks. Too much time on my hands. So far, Devine and Korn each with a strikeout. Here comes the next pitch, and the umpire says that King went around, so strike 1.
Jordan King is from York, Pennsylvania. He attends school at Delaware State in Dover, Delaware.
And here's the next pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Already down 0-2 in the count. He's aggressive out there. And we'll see what Devine delivers. It's got to be something a little on the junk side, I would guess.
Maybe an eephus pitch. But here's the 0-2, and that's fouled off, so King will live to see another at-bat.
Yeah, that actually was a decent pitch, pretty much right down the middle. Maybe he thought he would catch King looking at that pitch, figuring what I was figuring, that on an 0-2 count, why not throw something that you can't hit?
Still ahead 0-2's Divine. Here's the pitch, way outside, 1-2. But you got to admire, though, a batter that's not scared to swing the bat. Count 1-2. Divine looking for a second out. Swung on and missed. How about back-to-back Ks for Divine to start it off?
That's right. Jordan King going down swinging. We'll see what Johnny Campus can do here. A return player from last season. Our listeners and folks in the stands are probably familiar with the name Campus, the backstop for the Tarp Skunks primarily. A couple other catchers last season as well, but Johnny Campus was the main guy, and he's back for another go at it. He said that he loved playing here in Jamestown, and it wasn't even a hard decision to make the return.
As the first pitch he takes is just outside for ball one. And he does so well when it comes to those wild pitches, blocking them and avoiding being pass balls and wild. Like I said in the beginning of the game, his glove needs to be dipped in gold as he fouls off the next pitch and evens the count 1-1.
1-1 count. He comes by to Jamestown by way of Colera, Maryland, which he says is 15 minutes away from Pennsylvania and 15 minutes away from the Delaware area, I think is what he had said. So kind of in that triangle area there.
Well, 1-1 swung on and missed by Campus, so a 1-2 count, and Divine, he has an opportunity to strike out the side to start the first inning.
Oh, he looks pretty sharp out there.
He looks really good from what we've seen so far. Here's the next pitch, and that hit him.
Well, you compliment somebody. Yeah.
Jinx.
Hey, one of my former employers used to tell me, I never will compliment you because you're bound to screw up when I do, and we saw it right there. We're heaping praise upon Divine, and the very next pitch, he ends up plunking the batter, and Campus reaches first on a hit by pitch.
And now it's going to be Jack Davis, the first baseman, coming up to bat.
Jack Davis, the first baseman, as Norm noted, he is batting right-handed as well. He comes from, if I can find my infield sheet here, he's actually listed as a utility player or a catcher. He's from North Georgia.
Campus is taking off, though, and he's going to get an easy stolen base. Catcher's not known to steal bases, but you and I have seen that he's not scared to take off when he has the chance.
No, not at all. Now he's in scoring position with 2 outs here, and the cleanup hitter at the plate with Jack Davis. Let's see what Davis can do.
I bet he wants to make himself the happy Jack with a good base hit to drive Campus home. And here comes Divine's next pitch. That one low, almost got him in the kneecap, but thankfully, obviously, it didn't hit him. So
Davis,
count goes even.
Davis from North Georgia, by the way. That is located in Dahlonega, Georgia. He's from Liburn, Georgia. So he's playing in his home state, but here in Jamestown for the summer.
Next pitch, that's a wild one. Wild pitch, and Campus is going to head another 90 feet closer.
So now Campus is just 90 feet away from scoring the first run of the ball game, and Jack Davis here can try to drive in that run, or if we see an errant pitch, perhaps he can reach home plate on a wild pitch. We'll see what happens, Norm. This is turned out, Divine started great, striking out the first 2 batters, but now he's in a little bit of trouble here. Let's see if he can get out of it.
And the good news for him, though, it's 2 outs, so a sac fly can do no good. It has to be a base hit or an error. Well, here comes the next pitch. The umpire was indicating, though, that the count should be 3-0 and not 2-1, as the next pitch is swung on and fouled off. Again, there's still some confusion on the board, but we're going to keep on doing what we can for you, the best that we can, as Divine looks to get out of this little pickle that he's in.
Campus taking a conservative lead off a third.
And here's Divine's next pitch on the way. That one swung on and missed, and that's strike 3. So that's 1 full inning in the books here at Dietrich Park, Jason.
1 full inning, no score. We'll be back with inning number 2 in just a moment. In the meantime, we'll send it back to the station right here on WRFA.
And we're about to start the second inning here at Dietrich Park. We're still tied here at zeros between your Jamestown Tarp Skunks and the Olean Oilers. And so far, first inning, it was mainly a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, it really was. I saw each team had one runner on, couldn't get him across the plate, so they each stranded one. We saw 3 strikeouts by the starting pitcher, Liam Devine, for the Olean Oilers in the bottom of the first, and a strikeout as well by Ian Korn, the starter for the Tarp Skunks. With that being said, they're now facing the number 5 batter in the lineup for Olean as we reach the top of the second inning. That is Luke Rogenbuck, who is the first baseman for Olean.
Yep, Rogenbuck, he's another St. Bonaventure alum. He's from Avon Lake, Ohio, a sophomore, and he's another one of those bulky guys, 6'4", 230, bats and throws, both right-handed, as Korn gets ready to throw his next pitch to start inning number 2, and outside corner, says the umpire. Called strike 1. Korn looking for that right sign to throw the next pitch for a strike. And here's the 0-1. Strike 2. Both of those pitches painting that outside corner.
Yeah, he's showing some really good control despite this wet weather. Doesn't seem to be having an adverse impact on his pitching ability at all so far in the early stages here.
Here's the 0-2 on the way. Outside, 1-2.
Yeah, just brushed up against that outside edge. Almost got him looking the way he got that batter in the top of the first inning. Strikeout looking, but couldn't quite get the corner. So we got a 1-2 count here.
Korn looking to get another strikeout in the books. Here's the pitch. Some off speed there, but it was a little too high. Count goes even.
And again, I see clear skies in the northwest portion of our sky here, Norm. So I think this rain precipitation should clear up here in the next few minutes, hopefully.
Here's the 2-2. That one low and outside. Ball 3.
So he started out with an 0-2 count, but he quickly finds a full count here, and he'll deal on the full count.
Korn looking to get an out by any means necessary. It's a full count pitch on the way. Oh, right down Broadway, strike 3. Give that man some butter to put in that corn.
Hey, caught him looking on a 3-2 count. That's not an easy thing to do. The batter obviously trying to protect the plate, but I don't know what kind of action he had in that ball, but batter Rogenbuck thought that it would be a ball and a walk. Instead, he got caught looking, a strikeout, and we have 1 out here in the top of the second. Still no score here in the early stages of this non-league game. Jamestown hosting Olean.
And now it's Zach Swanger, the DH, as he swung on and missed the first pitch he saw for strike 1. Quickly, though, gets back in the batter's box, wasting no time. He wants to get on base by any means to support his Olean Oilers. Here's the next pitch. He clearly went around. From the swing, it looked like that Swanger wanted to abort it, but it was way too late.
Swanger the swinger here.
Hey, I didn't even need to do that one.
I'm good for at least a couple of game, Norm. Can't let you have all the fun.
Hey, I'm giving you a compliment as Swanger swings and misses on 3 pitches. So Swanger swung that one and missed.
There you go. Already 2 down here in the top of the second inning, and we now see the 7th batter in the lineup. That is Mitch Gross, who is the 3rd baseman for the Olean Oilers.
And Grosh, he's another semi-local person, born PA native, goes to Mercyhurst, and he's a junior, bats and throws righty. As Korn looks to get a 1-2-3 inning as that pitch hit the dirt, but thankfully no runners on base.
No, that's the first low pitch we saw there, and it looked like it was right down the middle, but it hit the dirt in front of the plate. Campus unable to stop it, but maybe he didn't really put in much of an effort either, knowing there's nobody on board.
Well, here's the 1-0. That one's high, 2-0 count.
So Ian Korn wasting no time here. He doesn't really spend a lot of time thinking about his next pitch. He just quickly gets up there and is ready to deal.
But here comes the 2-0 on the way, and it's a 3-0 count, and he's in danger of issuing the first walk of the game by either starting pitcher. And should he get walked or get on base because there's 2 outs, the next batter would be the catcher, Jake Meeker. 3-0 count. Korn looking to at least get it to 3-1. Here's the next pitch. Oh, a bit of a delayed call there, but it goes in Korn's favor. Count goes 3-1.
Well, it was right down the middle. The batter thought it might have been a ball, but if it was very close. Just a little low, but not low enough to be a ball. It was a strike instead, 3-1 the count.
And this is that hitter's count where he gets the green light. Here's the 3-1. Fouled off, so the count goes full. Korn 1 strike away from putting another 0 on the inning board for himself.
Another full count here. The first batter he faced in this inning, it was a full count, and he caught him looking. Let's see what happens here against Grosh.
Shakes off one side and gets the next one. Here's the full count pitch. Oh, ball 4. He gets walked. So now it will be Meeker up to bat, the catcher.
Yeah, he tried to brush that inside edge, but instead it was a little too inside, almost hitting the batter. Regardless, it is a base on balls. We've got a runner on first with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Jamestown, of course, trying to get out of this inning here and get up to bat in the bottom of the second. But first they got to put away this batter, Jake Meeker, as Norm referenced, the catcher tonight for the Oilers.
And a decent-sized lead off of first base by Grosh. Here's the next pitch by Korn. Oh, right down Broadway, right at the middle of the plate. That could not have been thrown any better. So
James Lehman, the shortstop, is on deck, by the way, for Olean if Grosh can find a way to get on base.
And Grosh, he's got a decent-sized lead off of first base. It's not quite enough for it to be a suicide lead, but here's Korn's next pitch. Again, that's another beauty right down Broadway. Makes a count 0-2.
Yeah, it's Grosh, yes, who is on first base, and you got to be careful with Johnny Campus. He's not afraid to make a quick toss down to first if you have too big of a leadoff, and they might get him in a rundown here. We'll see what Grosh does, how conservative he plays it here.
Jamestown caught people in a pickle quite a few times. The next pitch. Oh, called ball 1-2.
Ooh, that was another one just on the outside, a little too outside. Norm, I could have sworn that was a strike, but again, I don't have the vantage point up here. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Campus tried to frame it, but didn't get it his way. But still ahead in the count, though. Going bad throw. And now Grosh is going to head over to second.
He might even make it to third here.
Yeah, he could.
No, they'll hold him up at second. Good hustle out there by the shortstop for the Skunks to quickly get to the ball. Actually, it was the first baseman. But now we got a runner in scoring position here with Grosh advancing to second. 2 outs here. And Jake Meeker now trying to drive in a run for his team, the visiting Olean Oilers.
A good base hit can drive home, Grosh. We did see he's got some good speed when he went from first to second off that throwing error. So Meeker looking to get the first run of the game for either team. Korn looking to get strike 3 and put this half inning on ice. Takes a check at Grosh at second. Here's the 1-2. Inside corner, called strike 3, and already, this is going by quick, Jason, an inning and a half concluded here at Dietrich.
Yes, indeed, and with the bottom of the second inning we go, we'll thank another one of our sponsors. Support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunk baseball for the 2022 season is brought to you in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency. The Chautauqua County IDA is an economic development organization authorized and empowered by New York State to make Chautauqua County a better place to work, live, and visit. The IDA facilitates development by attracting new businesses while also promoting the retention and expansion of existing businesses. And it offers business assistance in forms of tax abatements, low-interest loans, and bond financing, all of which enhances the opportunities for job creation and retention by our businesses. The Chautauqua County IDA, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball on WRFA. For more information, call 661-8900 or visit CCIDA.